tantrum is a tantrum, and it doesn't matter what age and stage of development they are. And it's regardless of what temperament the child's in, and regardless of the situation you're in. Every tantrum needs to be addressed.
Right.
Now, what happens though if you don't address those tantrums?
They can quickly get out of hand.
Very quickly. I'm Alexandra Lilly, and this is Donna Palmer. And today in this video, we're going to give you 5 steps on how to handle your child's tantrums. But before we get started, don't forget to click the subscribe button and the bell so
That's
that
right.
you are notified anytime we release a new video on how to deal with your child's challenging behaviors. Now, Donna, there are different levels of tantrums, though.
There sure is.
Yes.
So we have the average tantrum,
Yeah.
where, you can redirect your child very easily. You can use a few strategies and get everything under control. But then we have the tantrum where this kid is out of control and it's very difficult to bring back the control, or it's very difficult to bring that child back to a calm state. So we have, from one extreme to the next. Tantrums are everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
We are on the front line every single day working with kids, and we are dealing with tantrums all the time. But here are some steps that we use to manage those temper tantrums, and if you use them, I guarantee you will get the results. Step number 1.
Wait, let me do this one.
Okay?
Stop making excuses for your child's behaviors. That was me. Stop making excuses. And some of those excuses that you're probably saying are, it's just a phase. They're going to grow out of it. They'll just pass it. They're hungry. They're tired. They don't have the communication skills. They can't express themselves. Ugh.
And the list goes on. But when we keep making those excuses for our children's behavior, for those big outbursts, really what we're doing is we are giving them the right of way. We're giving them the green light to express their anger in terms of tantrums. So really, we need to change that mindset and stop making excuses for the behaviors. Step number 2. Disconnect. Keep a straight face. Keep your body language in check. Basically, keep your emotions as a secret from your child. Do not let your child know what you are feeling at that point in time.
Yeah, that was a tough one for me. I really had to dig deep and be mindful of my body language.
Right?
And pay attention to what I was saying, what I was doing.
And I'm guessing when you're paying attention to what you're saying, you're also paying attention to what you're thinking and what you're feeling. Because we have parents who would come and just hand over their kids and like, Donna, you just gotta take Mary because I can't do it anymore. I'm done. Like, I just can't. And at that time, this is, what I might say, not at that time, but later on when I'm coaching that parent, I would say, do you know what? Even though you're feeling, I can't take it anymore, I can't do this anymore, you just have to keep those thoughts and those feelings inside. Don't let it out, because when you voice what you're feeling and what you are going through internally, then really what you're doing is you're letting your child know that you are out of control. And if you are out of control, then it's very unlikely that you could keep them in control.
Yeah.
So really, the disconnect strategy is just a safeguard for both of you.
Yeah.
So stay disconnected in terms of not sharing your emotions. Keep your body language straight, keep your face straight, and just follow the instructions. Step number 3, stop talking.
Yes, I have a good example of this one. Now, I have an 11-year-old, and he comes in and wants to go out outside and play, but it's dinner time. So I say, yes, you can go out, but not right now. Now, what I get is stomping up the stairs, slamming of the door, and huffing and puffing and yelling and screaming all in his bedroom. So I go upstairs and I go up and I try to explain why he can't go outside. He can't go outside right now because we're going to have dinner soon. I understand you're frustrated. Yada, 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 yada. Way too much talking.
Do you get any results
No.
from all of that? So really, the talking really changes nothing. When your child is at, maybe 70, 80, 90, 100, there is no reasoning power left at that time. They are so engulfed by the anger that there is no reasoning power, at that point in time. So there is no point in trying to reason with them. We will reason, but not
right
in
now.
not in the middle of a temper tantrum.
No.
So in the middle of a temper tantrum, use minimum words as possible. Maybe no words if you don't need to, because your talking is not going to fix the situation.
All right. Let us know in the comments, what do you do when your child is throwing a temper tantrum?
Yep.
What are some of the strategies that you have used that maybe worked or maybe didn't work? Okay, so we're on to step number 4. Take control. How do we do that?
Yes, that's a good question. Take control. Take control of the behavior of the situation that is at hand, not the child. So I talked about the little 2-year-old that was going to throw the chair on me. Now I'm standing and 2-year-old kid 3 feet away from me with a chair in his hand. Am I going to allow him to throw the chair on me, or am I going to take control of the situation? I will take control of the situation. Simply walk up to him, take the chair from him, so he doesn't have the opportunity to throw the chair. Again, I was in the airport at one time, and I must have mentioned this somewhere in some video, and there was this little toddler, maybe 18 months old. We were in the baggage section, that belt that is going around, a lot of people, a lot of chaos, and this little toddler decided that she just wanted to walk around and she didn't want to go in the stroller.
Yeah.
Dad was trying to get her in the stroller and she was fighting tooth and nail. Mom tried, Dad tried, they couldn't get her in. And I was just standing looking, and I went up to Dad and I said to him, I go, you are the adult. She's only 18 months old. This is a very unsafe situation. How about if you just take her and put her in the stroller, buckle her in? And he looked at me and he did just what I said. He just maneuvered her body gently but firmly into the stroller, buckled her in, gave her her toy. She cried for like 1 minute. A couple minutes later, she was a happy camper.
Yeah.
So when we talk about taking control, is really moving in and taking control of the situation so that your child doesn't hurt themselves, they don't hurt somebody else, they don't damage property, and they do not get out of hand and become all out disruptive. Take control.
Okay, Donna, before we move on, I've got a scenario for you. So my 16-year-old,
Yeah.
you can't ask 16-year-olds to do anything. But when I do, I just find that I'm always in this situation with him where he's very disrespectful, very rude, talking back, and I get so frustrated and angry that I have to literally walk out and leave. But I find I'm doing that a lot. So my question would be is, once you disconnect, what do I do next? I don't want to keep leaving.
Right. And you don't want to keep disconnecting all the time
Right.
because of these behaviors and these tantrums.
Right.
Okay, that's a good question, Alexandra. And we have to disconnect, especially in every situation, younger kids, older kids. Older kids, we tend to physically disconnect because they're older. The goal at the end of the day, when we intervene with any temper tantrum at any age and stage of development, is to reconnect with your child. At the end of everything, your child must know that you love them. They must know that you're in their corner and you're with them. You're not with their behaviors, but you're with them.
Okay.
So you know what, maybe when you had to disconnect from Cameron, be mindful of your own self, okay, because there are sometimes when we get so angry
Yes.
and we disconnect and it's hard for us to reconnect, but we need to bring our emotions under control, and we need to understand that you need to come back to your child, and not necessarily to apologize. Now if you did something that requires an apology, okay, you might have said
Right.
something that you shouldn't have said. You know, you come and say, Cameron, you know what, I raised my voice and I really should not have raised my voice, I'm sorry. And then you reassure him, and how about just give him a hug? Let him know that we're good. Yeah, we might have just had a disagreement, we might have gotten into a fight, things might have gotten heated, but it's done and we're good. So we need to reconnect. Your little ones, give them a nice hug, a nice warm hug. Let them know that everything is okay. The message we want to send to them is that you are important, I love you, but the behaviors is not going to work. Plain and simple.
So step number 5 is reconnect.
There you go. Reconnect.
All right, so those are the 5 steps, and they work.
Yep.
But if you feel like, oh, I'm going to struggle with this, and you would like to connect with us, you can email us at admin@parentingbeyondbehaviors.com.
And don't forget to keep your ears open for the next video, where we are going to be talking about how to handle your child's lying.
And be sure to subscribe and like this video.